Today's class is on enteric fever. What is your idea about enteric fever? How the patient will present to you. Enteric fever, what do you have any idea about enteric fever? Have you heard the name of typhoid fever? So enteric fever includes the infection caused by Salmonella typhi, paratyphi A, paratyphi B and paratyphi C. Kirokom patient, how the patient question to tomorrow will be clinical one. So how the question can come, what would be the presentation? It is more common in children below 5 years. Tale children aste pare 5 years or below, or any adult patient to aste pare. What would be the common clinical feature? As the name mentioned, fever. So fever must be there. History the fever thakbe. What type of fever? It is usually a step ladder pattern fever. Ei naamta lekha thake step ladder pattern. What is step ladder pattern? That is mean it is not touching the baseline. Step ladder pattern, the fever, step ladder pattern of fever. Next, anything else? It is enteric means some abdominal symptom will be there. There may be pain abdomen. And may present with diarrhea also. So these are abdominal symptoms, fever, step ladder pattern, diarrhea. Another thing is rose spot. It is present in 15 to 30% of patients may present with rose spot. A rash, rose spot means rash. These are the features. Next. So, children below 5 years, or it may be adult, or it can occur at any age. Fever, that will be step ladder pattern, that is typical of typhoid, and it is not touching, what is step line? It is not touching the baseline. So it is a continuous type of fever. Continuous fever. Pain abdomen, diarrhea, rose spot. Clinical examination, any particular point of clinical examination that is common in enteric fever. You can have mild hepatosplenomegaly, that is liver and spleen, that is plus minor. In early stage, you will not get hepatosplenomegaly. Another term that is commonly mentioned in the question is relative bradycardia. Relative bradycardia. Do you have any idea? With 1 degree rise in the temperature, 1 degree Fahrenheit rise in the temperature, pulse rate rises by what? On an average, if you have a 1 degree Fahrenheit rise in the temperature, pulse rate usually increase by 10. So if it is 72 average, then 1 degree rise will lead to 82. This is average, it is not fixed that it will rise by 10, but it is approximate. But in typhoid, what it happens? It is not, even if the temperature rises more than 101, 103, still the pulse rate does not rise by 10. That multiplication factor is not there. That is called relative bradycardia. I am mentioning this term because the questions are usually given in these terms are mentioned in the question. So relative bradycardia. What blood clinical pictures there should be a case of WBC will rise, but in not like other bacterial infection. So these are the common clinical features. Now let's start about the slides. Now what you should learn? Classification and nomenclature, antigenic structure, typhoid and non-typhoidal salmonella. So what are the main classification? Fatal multisystemic illness caused by salmonella and paratyphi A, B, C. I have already mentioned about this classification. Mainly it is classified by, one is typhoidal salmonella and is non-typhoidal salmonella. And non-typhoidal salmonella, remember, it is the human is the only reservoir and here animal may be the reservoir. So this is one classification, typhoidal salmonella and non-typhoidal salmonella. Discovery by Salmon and Smith in 1885, it is a family of Enterobacteriaceae. You have already read about Enterobacteriaceae. What are the common features of Enterobacteriaceae group of bacteria? Common feature, already you have 2 or 3 classes of Enterobacteriaceae. One is gram-negative bacilli, next catalase positive, oxidase negative. What they are facultative, anaerobe or aerobe, and they are not fastidious. They can grow in any media. Next, what other biochemical? One she has told catalase positive and oxidase negative, and they reduce nitrate also. And another important point, at least ferment glucose. At least ferment glucose. They may be lactose or non-lactose fermenting, but they at least will ferment, all the Enterobacteriaceae will ferment glucose. So these are the point of Enterobacteriaceae. Was first observed by Ebert in 1880 and Gapke in 1884. Formerly called Ebert-Gapke bacillus. Typhoidal salmonella includes Salmonella typhi and Salmonella paratyphi. Non-typhoidal salmonella colonize in intestine of animals, sometimes infect human. Gastroenteritis and septicemia can occur. This is Kaufman-White scheme. Antigenic classification, Kaufman-White scheme. Why you should remember this? At least you know the name of Kaufman-White scheme. This is the, have you noticed all the genus and species we usually write in italics, and like Staphylococcus aureus. I am just giving an example. So this is in small letter. But when we write Salmonella typhi, we usually write T as capital. All other these species is written in small letter, but in Salmonella typhi, that T typhi is written in capital letter. Why? Because this is not a species. This is not a species. Typhi is not a species. Kaufman-White scheme, what you should remember is this. O antigen, mainly 3 antigen Salmonella have: O antigen, H antigen and VI antigen. Here you can see Salmonella typhi, that is group 2, serogroup 2, but this factor is 12. And Salmonella paratyphi B, also the factor 12, and Salmonella typhi in group 9 is contains this factor 12. This will be important while we discuss the Vidal test or serological test. Factor 12 is common in O antigen of paratyphi A, paratyphi B, and also in Salmonella typhi. So this Kaufman-White scheme, at least remember serogroup 2, which contains paratyphi A, serogroup 4 contains paratyphi B, and serogroup 9 contains paratyphi Salmonella typhi. But all in O antigen, there is a common factor, that is factor 12. 2 species, Salmonella enterica and Salmonella bondori. Among the Salmonella enterica, there are 6 subspecies. Salmonella enterica Enterica, Salami, Arizoni, Diarizoni, Hotini, Indica. Even if you don't remember, remember the first species and first subspecies, that is Enterica. Each subspecies is further classified into serotypes based on O and H antigen. That is Kaufman-White scheme. I have shown previously. So, the full name of Salmonella is Salmonella genus, species Enterica, subspecies Enterica and serotype typhi. So, typhi is not a species, it is a serotype. That's why T is written as capital. So, this is the question sometime asked, and serotype is typhi. So, this is the full form or full name of Salmonella. What we usually mention as Salmonella typhi, it is Salmonella enterica, enterica subtype typhi. That is the full name. Antigenic structure. 3 common antigen. One is somatic antigen or O antigen, flagellar antigen or H antigen, and surface envelope antigen or VI antigen. Now, this is the difference between somatic antigen and flagellar antigen. What is the part to be remembered? That is, in Vidal test, O antigen of Salmonella typhi is used and H antigen of Salmonella typhi, paratyphi A and paratyphi B is used. It is less immunogenic and it is more immunogenic. How will you know less immunogenic? When you read the Vidal test later on, the titer, what is the endemic titer? Usually the titer is low. O is significant, it is more than 1:80, it is significant, but H is 1:160. So titer is low, that is why it is less immunogenic. The O is called less immunogenic than H. Another thing, so it can O antibody appears early, disappears early. That means in an infection of Salmonella typhi, when you test the Vidal in the second week, O antigen, O titer is raised first, followed by H titer. Anti-H titer raised later on, and it persists also longer. O appears early and it disappears early. And Vidal test is usually a tube agglutination test, and how the agglutinate look like. When it reacts with O antigen, it is compact, granular and chalky clumps. O antigen. That tube will have a compact, granular and chalky clumps, and when H antigen reacts with H antibody, it forms a large, loose and fluffy clumps. Kaufman-White again, I have, this part I have given the repeat slide because the 12, you should remember this factor 12. Factor 12 is common to all typhi A, typhi B and also typhimurium and Salmonella typhi. Now VI antigen, what is the role of VI antigen? It is a surface polysaccharide or capsular antigen. VI antigen এর কথাটা কি করে এসেছিল? VI কথাটা VI for it came from the name virulence, but it is not for virulence. It was a misnomer. VI antigen প্রথমে নাম দেওয়া হয়েছিল for virulence থেকে VI কথাটা taken, but it is not related to virulence now. Expressed in few serotypes, সব serotype হয় না, Salmonella typhi, paratyphi C, Salmonella dublin and Cytobacter. There is another bacteria called Cytobacter fruendii that contains this VI antigen. VI antigen এর কি role? VI antibody can detect the carrier state. If we want to detect the carrier state, VI antibody are একটা VI antigen এর role. Now the conjugate vaccine which is given for typhoid is prepared from VI antigen. So it is a vaccine part and also carrier detection. It is poorly immunogenic. Once again, H titer, what would be the titer? If we detect VI antibody, it is usually 1:10. As it is low immunogenic, titer is also less. So VI is also low immunogenic. Completely absence of VI antibody means poor prognosis. It disappears early in convalescence. If it persists, then it is a carrier state. Fast typing, অনেক সময় typing, maybe some short note in typing. Fast typing of Salmonella is done by anti-VI specific bacteriophage. Bacteriophage against VI. So VI specific bacteriophages are used for fast typing. And already mentioned VI antigen for vaccination. Now typhoidal Salmonella, that is the main part. Typhi, Salmonella paratyphi A, B and C. So if you, definition of enteric fever, but what is the diagnosis? What enteric fever includes, you have to mention all four. That is Salmonella typhi, paratyphi A, paratyphi B and paratyphi C. So enteric fever is not just typhoid fever. Transmission, oral route. So কি করে আসে? Some contaminated food or water. Infective dose 10 to the power 3 to 10 to the power 6 bacilli. কি করে, which promotes transmission? সুতরাং it is usually the foodborne or it enters through oral route. Stomach acidity যদি কম থাকে, achlorhydria, যেখানে acidity কম থাকে, there is a risk factor for Salmonella infection. Children less than 1 year age who are taking regular antacid or PPI, any acid decreasing agent, they will be more prone to typhoid infection. And intestinal integrity, that means some disease of intestines, patient is having some disease, already have some disease other than typhoid, that means like inflammatory bowel disease, any GI surgery, suppression of intestinal flora by antibiotics. So they are the common risk factors. Now pathogenesis. Pathogenesis you should know because it has come many times. If question for Salmonella or enteric fever comes, pathogenesis will be there. The question of pathogenesis will be there. Pathogenesis is a little bit complicated in case of Salmonella. How it enters? It enters through M cell. What is M cell? Usually the intestinal epithelium are columnar epithelium. As you all know, intestinal epithelium are columnar epithelium, but M cell are not, they are flattened cells. These are flattened epithelium cells are M cell or they are modified epithelial cells. Modified epithelial cell, so they enter through these M cells. The Salmonella enter through M cell. Then how they endothelium how they enter the endothelium from M cells, they enter by bacteria mediated endocytosis. There is a term type 3 secretory system. It is beyond your scope, undergraduate scope. There is one pathogenesis type that is also called type 3, means it like injection. It enters by type 3, that is called injectiosome. You need not remember, if you can remember that it enters by type 3 secretory system or it enters through M cell, the first part. Second part, after M cell, it is endocytosed by bacteria itself and then it reaches macrophage. First in the vacuoles of the cells, then it goes to macrophage. The second part is macrophage. Enters into macrophage, Salmonella containing vacuoles cross the epithelial layer to reach the submucosa and then it is phagocytosed by macrophage, it reaches macrophage. And there are certain alteration in the lysosomal enzyme leading to their survival inside macrophage. Remember this term, primary bacteremia. So there are two types of bacteremia occurs. One is after the multiplication in macrophage, survival and multiplication in macrophage, they spread via lymphatics to bloodstream. This is primary bacteremia. What will be the features? A primary bacteremia সাথে কি features থাকবে? Primary bacteremia features will be only the bacteremic features like fever. So initially primary bacteremia সম্বন্ধে কিন্তু other organ or intestine is not involved. So that is primary bacteremia. It enters the transient bacteremia. And through that, the reticuloendothelial cell, they go to liver, spleen, lymph node, bone marrow, and further multiplication occurs in the reticuloendothelial tissue. From bacteremia, that is primary bacteremia, from primary bacteremia, it goes to all reticuloendothelial cell, organ, liver, spleen, and after multiplication in the reticuloendothelial cell, there occurs secondary bacteremia. That is, the secondary bacteremia occurs after that. And main intestinal features like ileal ulcer or intestinal perforation all occurs after secondary bacteremia. Primary bacteremia, the features will be only like fever. That could be the clinical feature. So, first part, pathogenesis, fecal-oral route, entering the intestine through the M cell, then bacterial endocytosis occurs, it enters the macrophage, first multiplication occurring in macrophage and causing to the, through lymphatics spreading to blood, leading to primary bacteremia. After primary bacteremia, it again spreads to all organs of reticuloendothelial system, mainly liver, spleen, lymph nodes and bone marrow, and further multiplication occurs. After that, secondary bacteremia occurs. And after secondary bacteremia, there may be mostly intestinal symptom, even they cause the neurological symptoms. I will come to the neurological complication later. So, after the secondary bacteremia, all the complication and intestinal symptom occurs. What intestinal symptom you can have? Now, in the era of antibiotic, still there may be ileal ulcers, diarrhea, these are common intestinal symptoms. There may be lead to bleeding and intestinal perforation. These are very rare nowadays because usually the patient either takes antibiotic of his own or antibiotic, broad spectrum antimicrobial is prescribed to them. So these are the next steps: diarrhea, ileal ulcer, bleeding, intestinal perforation, if it is untreated, if the patient is left untreated. Incubation period 10 to 14 days, fever, stepladder pattern, headache, chills, cough, sweating, myalgia may occur, rashes also called rose spots, early intestinal manifestation, pain, nausea, vomiting and anorexia. Hepatosplenomegaly may occur, epistaxis and relative bradycardia. What are the complications? One is gastrointestinal bleeding, intestinal perforation can occur if the patient is kept untreated. So these are few complications. What neurological complication usually rarely occurs nowadays, but there may be neurological complication, there may be meningitis, there may be development of delirium, and this delirium is another name called coma vigil. Coma vigil, and they may be encephalopathy also. So these are neurological complications. Though rare, you must know about neurological complications in case of typhoid. Humans is the only host in Salmonella. Ingestion of contaminated water and food, prevalence worldwide, it is more than 100 cases per 1 lakh population per year in South Central and Southeast Asia. It is 10 to 100 cases in rest of Asia, Africa, and it is less than 10 other parts of the world. So in developing country, the incidence is more. In developed country, the incidence is less. India is within Southeast Asia. So Southeast Asia, the incidence is more than 100 cases per 1 lakh population. That may be due to the contaminated food or our poor hand hygiene. These are the two common cause for it is more common in developing country. আমরা hand hygiene ঠিক মতো follow করি না, খাবার আগে ভালো করে হাত ধুয়ে খাওয়া উচিত। আর if you take any fruits or any vegetable, it should be washed properly and it should be properly cooked and milk should be pasteurized before taking. So these are the precautions. I will come when prevention. So more common in urban than rural area, more common in young children less than 5, adolescent and then in adults. Poor sanitation, I was mentioning, poor sanitation, contaminated water, food and drinks, lack of hand washing and toilet access, evidence of H. pylori infection. So these are the predisposing factor for having typhoid. So lack of hand washing and poor sanitation and contaminated water, food and drinks are the common predisposing factor. Which is more common with the infection with Salmonella typhi or paratyphi? Which is more common? Typhi is more common. It is usually 4:1. Typhi infection with other paratyphoid is 4:1, but infection with paratyphoids are increasing. Paratyphoid are increasing. Carrier state, untreated patient becomes carrier, and what percentage of patient becomes carrier? It is usually 10%. Patient becomes carrier. Carriers are two types. One is fecal carrier, one is urinary carrier. Carry in their stool, carry in which is common? Fecal carrier, urinary carrier, which is common? Fecal carrier is common and urinary carrier is rare. Why fecal carrier is common? Because Salmonella multiplies in the gallbladder. Salmonella multiply in the gallbladder. It is in the gallbladder and therefrom it goes to intestine and it becomes fecal carrier. MCQ has come যে কোথায় multiplication হয় after the carrier state, that is in the gallbladder. That's why fecal carrier is more common. Temporary carrier up to 3 months, chronic carrier more than 1 year. Can you give one example of chronic carrier যার হিস্ট্রিতে নাম আছে? Typhoid Mary is a common carrier. She was a cook in a hotel and she was responsible for many outbreaks. A chronic carrier, Typhoid Mary. 1 to 4% may be chronic carrier, more common in women, infants and old age. Biliary tract abnormality, I have mentioned, it becomes multiplies in gallbladder. So biliary tract abnormalities lead to increased fecal excretion. Abnormalities urinary tract. Another MCQ question, sometimes the patient who are urinary carrier having additional infection with Schistosoma hematobium, which is a parasite. Schistosoma hematobium, when you read parasite, will read Schistosoma hematobium usually infect the bladder. Schistosoma hematobium may lead to increased urinary excretion of Salmonella. Now laboratory diagnosis. This part is very important. Laboratory diagnosis. Even in theory, laboratory diagnosis will come. So laboratory diagnosis, whenever you are writing the laboratory diagnosis of enteric fever, always mention according to the week. First week, second and third week, and fourth week. So first week, what will you test? Blood culture is the commonest test for if blood culture is negative. Anything, Vidal will not be positive in the first week. Vidal is positive, only the antibody does not develop immediately. It takes at least 5 to 7 days for developing antibody. Vidal is basically detecting the antibody. So you cannot get Vidal positive in the first week. And blood culture, if it is negative, we can go for bone marrow culture. Though not routinely done, it is theoretically, we can culture the bone marrow, that is more sensitive than blood culture, because I have mentioned after primary bacteremia, it's along with the liver spleen, it spreads to bone marrow also. So bone marrow culture. Next is duodenal aspirate culture. So first is blood culture. If it is negative, we can go for bone marrow culture, and then duodenal aspirate culture, first week. What else can be done? There is another method called clot culture. That is another method of blood culture. So blood culture, already you have a class. What media will be used for blood culture? What media we can use for blood culture? One is brain heart infusion broth for manual culture, and another is castaneda's media or biphasic media can also be used. Castaneda's media or biphasic media. So blood culture, common media is BHIB, brain heart infusion broth, or biphasic Castaneda can be used. Now you have gone to what? To collect the blood culture sample. How will you collect? Whether you collect it in a clot vial or some extra vial and send it to laboratory for inoculation. Blood culture, you cannot send the laboratory as in a clot. You have to take the media in the ward. If you are going for ward for a blood culture collection, either you have to take a brain heart infusion broth or any automated blood culture media, and you have to inoculate immediately. Blood culture, you cannot send the sample. You have to inoculate in the ward itself. So immediate inoculation is required for blood culture. You cannot send the sample. Either use brain heart infusion broth or a biphasic media. So blood culture, bone marrow, duodenal aspirate. Ever second week. Blood culture, this part hoye gelo. How long we should incubate the blood culture? Blood culture কতদিন incubate করতে হয়? How long we should keep in incubator for blood culture? Blood culture you have to incubate for at least 5 to 7 days before calling it negative. So incubation for blood culture is not overnight incubation like other bacteria. Blood culture you have to incubate 5 to 7 days at 37 degrees centigrade. So this is the incubation of blood culture. Second week, what is the confirmatory test? If it is called a confirmatory test, again blood culture. The chance of isolating organism from the blood culture is second week is difficult. One is already patient will be having antibiotic. So use of antibiotic will give a negative result. So Vidal test, or we detect the antibody. Vidal test or IgM against typhoid, also called typhi dot test. So these are detecting antibody. Second week and third week both we should take for, and in the third or fourth week, and along with this we can do a stool culture and urine culture, and here also third and fourth week stool culture and urine culture. So in the second week we can do stool and urine culture, and also in fourth week, not only for diagnosis, for the fourth week for diagnosis of carrier also, not only the diagnosis of the case. In the fourth week we can detect the carrier by culturing the stool and urine. Blood culture positive in 90% cases in the first week. BHI broth or conventional, this is automated blood culture method, can also be used. Stool culture. Stool culture, whenever you are using, now let's discuss about the Vidal a little bit. After that we go to the stool culture finally. So Vidal, what are the antibody we check? We check TO, TH, AH and BH. So we only check O for Salmonella typhi, we don't check O for typhi A, paratyphi B or C. Why? Because there is a common factor 12, which initially, in initial side I have mentioned, they have common factor 12, so they overlap in their antigenic structure. We need not test the, I have mentioned these are having some endemic titer in a local area, antibody, Vidal test. O and H agglutination test, in Vidal test, O is chalky type agglutination as they are large fluffy, compact chalky in case of O agglutination, and H is large and fluffy pink colored. And this titer you need to mention in a Vidal test. Typhi O. Now, what is the endemic titer for typhoid in India? If you are asked in India, what is the significant titer for O and H? For O, the significant titer is more than 1:100, and for H, 1:200. This is for O, significant titer. This is part is significant titer. And for H, in West Bengal, what we measure is 1:80, more than 1:80 is significant for O, and more than 1:160 is significant for. So you need to mention the titer, you have to see the titer, what is the endemic, the local titer. In India or in all textbook it is written 100 and 200, but in West Bengal what we follow is O above 1:80, more diluted, and H more than 1:160. রিপোর্টটা তাহলে এরকম হবে, ও থাকবে একটা, আচ্ছা TO পজিটিভ আছে, TH পজিটিভ আছে, both নেগেটিভ। হোয়াট ইজ দ্য ডায়াগনোসিস? TO পজিটিভ, TH পজিটিভ, AH BH নেগেটিভ। It is simple, it is only Salmonella typhi infection. TO positive, TH negative, AH positive, BH negative. It is paratyphi A. Paratyphi A. যদি TO positive and only BH positive, it is paratyphi B. Anything else? শুধু TO positive, all other negative. What would be the diagnosis? TO positive, all other are negative. It is what? It is early infection. Early infection as O comes early, O antibody and goes early. So early infection, TO is only positive in early infection. Achha, TO negative, all TA, TH, all three are negative, positive. O is negative, all other three are positive. This is, previously there was vaccination with TAB vaccine, that is not used nowadays. If the patient has received TAB vaccine, all the H will be positive and O will be negative. আর যদি O negative হয়ে গেছে, H positive আছে, বাকি these are, so this could be late infection. Only H remains positive, H appears late. আর কি হতে পারে? This H, this is significant titer. If you have done the Vidal test twice, then a significant rise means 4-fold rise in the first week you have done a Vidal test, in the second week you are doing a second Vidal test. If in the second Vidal test there is a initially 1:20 chilo, then it becomes 1:80. That means a 4-fold rise is significant. 4-fold rise is significant. So for Vidal test, you have to mention, when you see the report, TO, TH, AH, BH all to be written, and beside that not only positive, titer will be written. Without titer, there is no value of Vidal test. If it is positive into 1:20 or 1:40, it is insignificant. That is not typhoid. Or there is another term called anamnestic reaction. Because if the patient is exposed to malaria or TB or staph typhus, there may be false positive H. That is called anamnestic reaction. If you repeat the test, either the titer will go down or it may be negative. So that is another nestic reaction. False positive rise of H. False positive rise of H is called anamnestic reaction in Vidal, and that may be due to exposure to other bacteria like tuberculosis, or it may be staph typhus. Those may lead to positive, false positive, and previous history of typhoid may also lead to false positive reaction. And if you repeat the Vidal test, there will be either a decrease in titer, will all become negative. Now let's move about the culture. Culture, what media will you use? For stool culture or urine culture? What media is usually used? Any stool sample. If you have a culture for stool, either if you suspect Salmonella or Shigella or any diarrhea outbreak, first you have to put in an enrichment broth. Any stool sample, enrichment broth. What are the enrichment broth for stool? Selenite F broth, gram-negative broth or tetrathionate broth. These are all enrichment broth. So you have to put, because the number of bacteria in the stool is maybe less. So you have to do some enrichment like selenite F broth, selenite F for feces, gram-negative broth, tetrathionate broth. What are the common culture media you should use for any stool culture? When you suspect Salmonella Shigella, common media are DCA or XLD. These are the two common media. Any stool culture, when you are suspecting Salmonella Shigella, these are the two media, DCA, XLD agar, or you can low selective McConkey agar can be used. Any specific media for Salmonella? Only for Salmonella typhi there is a media called Wilson-Blair. Remember this name, Wilson-Blair media, and how the colony look like. How the colony look like? There will be jet black colony, jet black. Jet black colony. Now how will you identify the Wilson-Blair is a different media, that is not only specific for Salmonella. That will cause a jet black colony. Now how will you identify a colony, whether it is a E. coli, Shigella or Salmonella from the media? This is, you can see a pale colony with black center. Can anybody tell what is the black center? Why it is a black center? Pale colony with black center. It is for production of H2S. Salmonella typhi produces H2S. Not all, but Salmonella typhi produces H2S. That's why there is a black center and a pale colony. That is non-lactose fermenting colony. Basically, it does not ferment lactose. So it is one of the, if it is in the McConkey agar, there will be not non-lactose fermenting colony, and they are pale colonies with black center. And in XLD, xylose, what are the full form of DCA? Deoxycholate citrate agar, and XLD, xylose lysine deoxycholate. These are the two media for stool. In all other bacterial infection, you use McConkey agar, blood agar and nutrient agar, but stool you have to specifically mention these two media if it is not Vibrio. Vibrio is a different clinical features. So if it is not Vibrio, you have to use these two media for stool culture. Now how will you identify biochemically? These are already biochemical any sign. Your individual practical has not been started, but still there are common biochemical tests we use are indole, citrate, urease and TSI. So this will be indole negative, citrate may be positive, urease negative, and in TSI media there is one slant and there is also a butt. So these two part of TSI media is like this, and that is a typical sign, you remember, a moustache sign. Moustache sign, there is a black, there will be K by A, that means alkaline, but TSI টা বড় করে আঁকছি, you can see this is TSI, this is the butt and this is the slant. It will be red colored slant and this is yellow, but in between there will be a black moustache sign. So a black colored moustache sign appears in TSI and that is specific of Salmonella typhi. Diagnosing in TSI, triple sugar iron, that is TSI media. So diagnosis I have already covered. Another part is the biochemical identification. Indole negative, citrate may not positive, TSI K by A and H2S in Salmonella typhi. That is called moustache sign. Now antibiotic sensitivity has to be done. This is the Vidal test. This is the tube Vidal test. It can be done in slide also. This is tube Vidal test. Already I have interpreted false positive by anamnestic reaction, transient rise of titer due to unrelated infection. It can rise in dengue also. False negative, carrier state. Now there is another term, projon phenomena. If there is antibody excess, it is more antibody than the antigen provided, there may be negative, false negative. And how will you correct the projon phenomena? Any idea how will you correct the projon phenomena? Projon phenomena means antibody excess. So you have to dilute the syrup to decrease the antibody concentration. If you dilute the syrup, it will become positive. Already this is discussed. Now typhi dot test. This is detecting of IgM. It uses the ELISA format or a kit test lateral chromatography to detect the IgM. And other molecular methods, PCR. Usually not required, but you can do a PCR to detect the Salmonella. There may be neutropenia, mostly in other bacterial infection. Which part of the WBC is increased? It is usually the neutrophil is more than other. So there is a neutrophilia. But in typhoid, neutrophil is not that increased. It is the lymphocyte that is increased. That is another relative lymphocytosis. So another presentation, if you see the blood picture, there will be relative lymphocytosis. Culture already I have. Carrier, how will you detect the carrier? Carrier, two methods. One is either stool culture or urine culture or detecting antibody against VI antigen. These are the three methods for detecting carrier state. Antibody against VI or stool and urine or bile culture. What is the titer for VI antibody to VI? I have already mentioned. It is low immunogenic. So it is 1:10 is also significant in case of antibody to VI antigen. Another thing, sewage. If you think an outbreak and this is due to sewage contamination of water, you can taste the sewage water for the Salmonella also, culture for sewage water. That is detecting investigating any outbreak. Now treatment. Treatment এখন কি? Anybody any idea of treatment? There are 3 drugs initially used. One is chloramphenicol, ampicillin, this is in early 70s, ampicillin and cotrimoxazole. These are the 3 initial antibiotics used against, antimicrobial used against typhoid. If it is resistant to all 3, then it is called MDR typhoid or MDR salmonella. So resistant to all 3, chloramphenicol, ampicillin and cotrimoxazole. These are now commonly not used. After that, what was being used? Chloramphenicol, ampicillin, cotrimoxazole por we started using ciprofloxacin, that is quinolone. Ciprofloxacin, তারপরে দেখা গেল it is also becoming rampant use of quinolone lead to resistance of ciprofloxacin. Ciprofloxacin সাধারণত দিতে হতো হাই ডোজে 750 milligram BD. আমরা commonly দিই 500 BD, but in typhoid still we can use in a higher dose 750 milligram BD adult. It is for adult patient, not in children. Ciprofloxacin যখন resistant আসতে থাকলো তখন we shifted to 3rd generation cephalosporin like ceftriaxone. Kintu ceftriaxone, what is the drawback? You have to admit the patient and it is only available in an injectable form. যে পেশেন্ট ভর্তি হতে চায় না তাকে what is the present protocol of treatment এখন কি দেওয়া হয়? Any idea? এটা বেশিরভাগ বইতেই লেখা নেই। এখন যেটা দেয়া হয় সেটা হচ্ছে cefixime and azithromycin. Cefixime azithromycin combination or cefixime azithromycin alone can be given in typhoid fever. আর দেওয়া যেতে পারে amoxiclav in high dose. So if you first mention যদি MDR typhoid থাকে তাহলে 3টে অ্যান্টিবায়োটিক chloramphenicol, cotrimoxazole এবং ampicillin resistance MDR, then we went for the quinolones. Quinolones যদি রেজিস্ট্যান্স পাওয়া যায় অ্যান্টিমাইক্রোবিয়াল সেন্সিটিভিটি টেস্টে, কিন্তু আর যদি পেশেন্ট ভর্তি হয় তাহলে ইউ ক্যান স্টার্ট উইথ এ ceftriaxone, injection ceftriaxone. If the patient is not admitted, you can give cefixime and azithromycin. So these are the treatment protocol. Now how will you prevent? আরেকটা কোশ্চেন এখন প্রায়ই আসছে, 3rd generation cephalosporin, ceftriaxone, azithromycin, fluoroquinolone সবকটাই আমি মেনশন করে দিয়েছি। MDRটা অলরেডি I have mentioned, resistant to chloramphenicol, ampicillin, resistant to ceftriaxone, যদিও very rare but still it is occurring. যদি ceftriaxone resistance থাকে, don't mention in the theory paper if it is ceftriaxone resistance তাহলে কি দেবে, তাহলে ফার্স্ট অ্যান্সার উইল বি অ্যাকর্ডিং টু দ্য অ্যান্টিমাইক্রোবিয়াল সেন্সিটিভিটি। যে কোনো ব্যাকটেরিয়াল কালচার যদি পাঠানো হয় গ্রো করে তাহলে উই অলসো গিভ এ অ্যান্টিমাইক্রোবিয়াল সেন্সিটিভিটি রিপোর্ট। সো অ্যান্টিমাইক্রোবিয়াল সেন্সিটিভিটি রিপোর্টের উপর ভিত্তি করে উইল গিভ দ্য নেক্সট অ্যান্টিমাইক্রোবিয়াল। নাও প্রোফাইল্যাক্সিস, হাউ উইল ইউ প্রিভেন্ট দ্য ডিজিজ? কন্ট্রোল অফ রিজার্ভায়ার, স্যানিটেশন মেজার, ভ্যাকসিন। কন্ট্রোল অফ ক্যারিয়ার, ক্যারিয়ারে কি ট্রিটমেন্ট দেবে? হোয়াট ইজ দ্য ট্রিটমেন্ট ফর ক্যারিয়ার? ampicillin or amoxicillin 4 to 6 gram per day plus probenecid for 6 weeks. আর যদি গল ব্লাডারই সোর্স অফ ইনফেকশন হয় তাহলে ইউ হ্যাভ টু গিভ এ cholecystectomy plus ampicillin. And now how prevention? Sanitation measure, protection, purification of drinking water, hand washing, এইগুলো কিন্তু কন্ট্রোল। এখন প্রিভেন্টিভ মেজার কিন্তু কোশ্চেনে দিচ্ছে, সো ইউ হ্যাভ টু মেনশন ভ্যাকসিন along with these preventive measures. One is protection and purification of drinking water. যদি জল তুমি সবসময় ফুটিয়ে খেতে পারছো না, ক্যানট বয়েল, তাহলে কি করবে? আইদার ক্লোরিন ট্যাবলেট বা সাম টু বি ইউজ টু পিউরিফাই দ্য ওয়াটার, হ্যান্ড ওয়াশিং অ্যান্ড ইমপ্রুভমেন্ট অফ বেসিক স্যানিটেশন, প্রমোশন অফ ফুড হাইজিন। তার মানে দুধ, কাঁচা দুধ, ওয়াশ দ্য ফুডস অ্যান্ড ভেজিটেবলস, ফ্রুটস অ্যান্ড ভেজিটেবলস বিফোর ইটিং। ভ্যাকসিন, কত রকম ভ্যাকসিন হয়, কাদের ভ্যাকসিন দেওয়া উচিত? ট্রাভেলার্স গোয়িং টু এন্ডেমিক এরিয়া, পিপল অ্যাটেন্ডিং মেলা অ্যান্ড যাত্রাস, হাউসহোল্ড কন্ট্যাক্ট, পিপল অ্যাট ইনক্রিজ রিস্ক ইন স্কুল চিলড্রেন, পিপল লিভিং ইন এন্ডেমিক এরিয়া। কি কি ভ্যাকসিন অ্যাভেলেবেল আছে? এখন যেটা মোস্ট কমন ভ্যাকসিন, দ্যাট ইজ ভিআই অ্যান্টিজেন দিয়ে যে ভ্যাকসিন দিচ্ছে, ভিআই অ্যান্টিজেন দিয়ে, দ্যাট ইজ ইনজেক্টেবল ভ্যাকসিন অ্যান্ড ইট ইজ এ কনজুগেট, মেনশন দিস ইজ কনজুগেট ভ্যাকসিন, কনজুগেট ভিআই ভ্যাকসিন, কনজুগেট ভিআই বেসড ভ্যাকসিন, পিউরিফাইড ভিআই ক্যাপসুলার পলিস্যাকারাইড, কারণ অ্যাজ ইউ নো, if it is only polysaccharide vaccine, you cannot give below 2 years. The immune system is not that developed to handle the polysaccharide antigen. So protection for 2 years, single dose IM, age more than 2 years. VI antigen is conjugated with recombinant Pseudomonas aeruginosa exotoxin A. Conjugate vaccine আমি বলছিলাম কি দিয়ে কনজুগেট করা হয়? With Pseudomonas aeruginosa exotoxin A দিয়ে। So conjugate, even if you don't remember, mention conjugate VI vaccine. Conjugate VI vaccine, আর কি ভ্যাকসিন হয়? Typhoral. Typhoral is oral live attenuated vaccine. Typhi 2-1A vaccine. Typhi 2-1A vaccine, this is the oral live attenuated vaccine. এটাতে GAL-E mutant দেয়, lacks the enzyme UDP galactose 4 epimerase, but it self-destructs after 4 to 5 division, only indicated after the 6 years of age. TAB vaccine, previously used, nowadays it is not used. Non-typhoidal salmonella may only do some GI gastroenteritis নিয়ে ফিচার করতে পারে, may lead to bacteremia. Most common in Salmonella colariosis and Salmonella dublin, these are non-typhoidal salmonella. Any question from your side? কিছু জিজ্ঞেস করার আছে? Okay, thank you.